Hi, beautiful soul. In this video, I'm wanting to talk about letting go of everything and everyone that is not growing with you, that's not representing the version of yourself that you want to embody moving forward. If you've got goals and dreams to grow, if you've been doing the internal work and you're looking around you and you're noticing these people, these places, these things are just like draining my energy, why do I have to do this? You actually don't. Everything in life is a choice. And when we choose ourselves, we create a lot of space for the new, for the better version of ourselves, for the higher version of ourselves. We create a void when we let go, a void that pulls in our new reality. So we can step out of that old timeline, that old vibrational timeline that, no longer represents who we are, and onto that new timeline, that higher timeline that represents who we are moving forward. And so it's really important to take stock, to do, some reflection on everything, on that job and your work colleagues, on your friends, even ones that you've known for a really long time. Sometimes we invest so much into something, into a situation or a job or a relationship or friendships or family members or anything. We invest a lot into something, and then, we think about how that investment, and I've already invested this much into it. It would be a loss or a waste if I let go of that. But it's just a facade. It's not even true. It's important to get really good at letting go of things. If you want the life of your dreams, that comes with sacrifice, and the sacrifice is your old situation. And sometimes we can get attached, and sometimes we like things about it. Of course we do, otherwise we would have left that situation or person a long time ago. But deep down we know, this thing, this person, this situation, it's not resonating anymore. And staying attached to those things only slows down your manifestation. It's really difficult to manifest the life that you want when you're being held back in a lower vibrational timeline, because that's taking up space, that's taking up energy, that's keeping your vibration, down. It's lowering your own vibration. And sometimes, if it's not a super toxic situation, we can just disengage our energy from those people or those things and direct our energy into what we want, into what we're wanting to manifest, and raise our vibration. And that's fine. That can definitely work. But for other situations, and this has been the case certainly for me in particularly toxic relationships and jobs, for example, where it's so toxic that it's impossible to raise your vibration or focus on that thing. There's just so much energy required to navigate those situations or those relationships that it's impossible to disengage. Particularly where things like, and this has been the case for me, I haven't felt emotionally safe. That anxiety that comes up completely takes over. There is no way to kind of navigate that other than to remove yourself from the situation. Also, physical safety, has been an issue for me in my life, that's really difficult as well. When your safety is at risk, like that's the priority, staying safe, making sure that you're navigating things to the best of your ability. It's like not the time to be directing your focus elsewhere. So it's really important to learn this skill of letting go of things. So I've had, jobs or relations, like every job and relationship in my life has been better than the last thing I had. And so I think this is where the difficulty comes. If I let go of these friends that I don't really resonate with anymore, I've outgrown them, I don't really feel like partying anymore or doing what they want to do, our values have changed. But if I let them go, then I'll be all alone. But, that's just temporary. There's a temporary gap, a temporary space, like a void, like that limbo time where you've let go of the old, you have recognized I don't really see that as a part of my future moving forward, but the new thing hasn't come in yet, and it's so uncomfortable sometimes. It makes us question whether we've done the right thing, it's really uncomfortable. It can be anxiety inducing in itself. But it's important to recognize that from this space, this is like the space of creation. It's really important to stay positive because the new is coming. The new thing that you're resonating with is coming. And I've done this myself with relationships or friendship groups where I've cleared out everything and, moved house because, the environment was toxic and there was a lot of conflict, etc. Like pretty much uprooted myself and shifted my whole life to another city, not knowing anyone. And it's really uncomfortable. I've wondered, is this the right thing? Have I done the right thing? But still had that, hope, that optimism that was no longer serving me. That was not going to get me where I want to be. That was not resonating with my vibration anymore. And things eventually improved. I made new friends, had a beautiful group of new friends that resonated on that level that I had ascended to, that were resonating on the same vibration as me. A partner who was better than the last one, and just kind of put everything into perspective. The house that I moved to felt so safe there, so secure there, that it ended up actually all working out. And if I hadn't persevered through that really uncomfortable time of being in that void of the new thing hasn't come in yet that I'm wanting, then I may have gone back to that old life, that old vibration, that old timeline, which just wasn't going to serve. So yeah, this is the importance of being able to let go. So, I've done little things to make that easier for myself, particularly leaving a 7-year relationship with someone that was just a recreation of the toxic dynamic, that my parents had between themselves. Obviously, I didn't know this at the time when we got together when I was in my late teens, but that became very apparent by my mid-20s when, that we were arguing, we just weren't able to get on the same page. I was ascending and growing and learning about myself and wanting more harmony in that relationship, but it just wasn't met with that reciprocal energy, and you can't change other people. And so I left that. I'd written a list when I left that person of all the reasons why I had outgrown that dynamic, and a little reminder of what I would be going back to. And whenever I felt that tinge of weakness, I would refer to this list and remember that he never stood up for me. He, wasn't supportive. He wanted to keep things superficial and didn't want to go deep into his emotions and talk about that. He was not willing to do the self-inquiry and the self-growth that was really necessary for us to be able to evolve that relationship into something healthy, which both of us hadn't experienced in childhood. And so yeah, my self esteem was low. My self esteem was low after being in such a toxic relationship for that long. But that list, it kept me on track. I just thought anything, being alone for the rest of my life, will be better than going back into that dynamic. So when we can let go, really, and stay strong and trust and believe and know that we're worthy of something better, it will come. It's just important to ride out that void, that limbo as best as we can, and just allow the universe to orchestrate these new people, that new situation that we're wanting to manifest and that we desire. So I hope this has helped. I love you. See you in the next one.